when we are able to talk with people who are really in the thick of the front lines on restoring sanity and focusing on wisdom and virtue, and that gives me hope.
Hello, and welcome to the Arts of Language podcast with Andrew Pudewa, founder of the Institute for Excellence in Writing, or as many like to say, IEW. My name is Julie Walker, and I'm honored to serve Andrew and IEW as the Chief Marketing Officer. Our goal is to equip teachers and teaching parents with methods and materials which will aid them in training their students to become confident and competent communicators and thinkers. Well, welcome everyone to our 500th episode. Andrew, I remember when we first pitched the idea of doing a podcast, you said every week. We're going to run out of things to say. And yet here we are.
500, that's almost 10 years.
Well, and I actually have a stack of papers in front of me.
No doubt.
And one of them has our oldest episode that you can listen to right now if you wanted to. And that is episode 57.
How come we're not number one?
Exactly. And I'm going to explain that. So episode 57 is what are we really doing here? And when we first started this journey, I was so nervous. I was just a young pup then. Actually, not that much younger, but I guess kind of.
Well, relatively.
Relatively, yes. And I said, can we just do our listeners a favor and do me a favor? And our listeners who are new to our podcast, I'm thinking they love it so much, they're going to want to go back to the beginning. Well, when you had 500 episodes to get through, you just can't do it. True confessions right here. I tend to be a binge watcher. When I find a good episode, I will watch or listen and just not stop.
Oh.
And so so sometimes I'll wait until they pile up before I actually listen to them, because otherwise I can't do the binge watching.
Oh.
And so we're just basically doing a service to our listeners to not have to go back to the first 50.
Okay, can I explain to you how I listen to podcasts?
Yes.
I have a particular category of podcast for a particular category of activity.
Sure.
So in the morning, it's inspirational, usually Bible in a Year or something like that. And then at the gym, it's fitness, nutrition, health, all that. And then when I'm making dinner, it's political commentary.
Okay.
So I don't binge, I categorize.
Oh, I see. Got it. Yeah.
Just so you know. Well,
and that's, many people have several podcasts they listen to.
Many of us have too many podcasts.
Yeah, I subscribe to a dozen, Andrew, and I am not caught up on any of them. So, but here's a little trick that I learned from my son, which, you know what, I said I was going to do this, so I'm going to introduce my son to our listeners. This is one of my sons. So come on, stand right back over here. He's tall enough to be able to do this. This is my son, Michael.
He looks absolutely thrilled to do this.
He loves this kind of stuff. But Michael is our video and audio editor manager. So whether or not he actually does the work.
That is such a boring title.
I know.
I think you should call him what he truly is.
Videographer work.
No, the wizard.
The wizard, yes. He's the man behind the curtain who makes all things magically happen. And
what a lot of people don't know is he was in a writing class I did.
Yes.
When I came to Biola.
Yes.
And he was probably, 10?
Yes,
10
and
years old?
not just a reluctant writer, could hardly write.
Yeah.
Like putting letters on papers were really hard for him. So
now he's
here working.
He massages pixels on screen.
He does, and he wins. He's the, they say the person with the most screens wins.
Oh,
he wins. He has 7 screens in his office.
At least it's the IW champ.
Yeah. So, and what I wanted to say about Michael, in addition to what he does for IW, thank you. You can go back. He listens to his podcast at 3x.
Oh, yes. Well, I've tried that. But that requires more concentration.
Oh, wow.
See, I want to be able to listen and do other things while I'm listening.
Yeah.
If I put them on faster, then it's really hard to do other things because I'm putting so much energy into listening.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
Here's another little secret about Michael, which is not a secret. But if you ever hear me talking about our special needs episodes and I talk about an ADHD kid, well, that's him.
Did you have to reveal that to the world?
Honestly, here's hope that if you've got a kid that has some learning challenges, and like I said, he wasn't writing much when he was 10. He definitely had some visual processing things, but he is brilliant. He's always been brilliant, and but he's able to listen to
podcasts at 3x.
Yeah, at 3x.
That's an achievement.
You
And he can probably cook dinner while doing it.
Yes, yes, but he doesn't listen to podcasts.
So what's in your stack of papers that's a little too large?
Well, this is just a bunch of stuff that I put together in preparation for this, and this is kind of an organic episode. We're going to, as I mentioned, split this into several parts, but we're going to launch them all in a week because we've got more podcasts to launch and we've got to stay on schedule because we have a really exciting podcast. All of our podcasts are exciting.
Well, to you, I've never listened to one of them, but I enjoy making them.
Well, and this is going to be a little tricky because
three in 1 week, that sounds like a barrage.
Well, and it's going to be a little all over the place. But one of the things we want to be able to do is answer questions. We usually do that with the Ask Andrew Anything episodes, and those are the every 10th one. Well, by definition, episode 500 is an every 10th one. But these questions that will happen, or I don't have
These
any.
better be the best of all questions.
I don't have any prepared questions. I am relying on those.
I'm trying to train myself not to say, that's a good question. It's just so overused. Every single podcast, anybody interviewed, that's a good question.
That's a good question.
I'm trying not to say that. I'm trying to look for alternatives.
Okay, I could see two reasons why you would say that. Number one, it affirms the questioner.
Right.
That's good. And you're good at that.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And secondly, it gives you a minute to think what the answer is.
Anyway.
So, and when we do Ask Andrew Anything episodes, Andrew doesn't get to see the questions ahead of time. So in true Ask Andrew Anything format, if you who are here today on September 13th, when we are recording this podcast, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat and we can see them. And I love seeing some of the chatter right now. I love seeing that there are people here who travel or walking. So, and that's exactly my shtick. When I walk or work out in the morning, I try to make sure that the podcast I'm listening to can end in my allotted workout time, which is 30 minutes. It's all we ask, right? So that's kind of what we try to do. And sometimes shorter, sometimes longer. So our agenda loosely is favorite episodes. So I thought it would be kind of fun to ask you, do you remember some of your favorite? He just admitted that he does not listen to our podcast. Can you imagine? But that's okay. He also admitted to me, and now he'll admit to you.
I can think of a few.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. The notable ones are when we have guests.
Yes, exactly.
And we don't always have guests.
No.
Sometimes it's just you and me riffing
on
some aspect of what we do or language and all that. But I think I really enjoyed when my son came on because he was the most dyslexic child I have ever met. Didn't read a book till he was 12 years old. Really just banging head against the wall to get him to read anything. And, by 15, he was reading pretty smoothly and he went off to college, did really well. But when we had him on the podcast, he talked about really the kind of secret gifts or powers that dyslexic people have. And I think that is very reaffirming to many moms and dads who are out there they're at the 12-year-old phase, the 12-year-old who hates reading more than anything.
And probably by extension hates writing.
Probably, yeah. And they grow up and then they're 20-something and, I'm I'm very, very proud of him. So that was one podcast that I really enjoyed. We've had Dr. Sax,
Yes.
Leonard Sax. We've
Yes.
had him as a guest a couple times. And he's just one of these so objective, sane, common sense observations about the truth of things in the world without an agenda.
Right.
And so I always enjoy listening to him talk. And so we had a couple episodes there. And more recently, probably had to be Scott Newstock.
Yes, I knew you were going to mention
How
him.
to Think Like Shakespeare. That book I love that book so much. In fact, I keep buying 2 and 3 copies at a time because I give it away so fast.
Yes.
But that was such a good conversation. We had to roll it into a double episode. And then I had a chance to actually meet him at a conference this last summer. So
yes,
those would be 3 of the more memorable ones. Of course, Dr. O'Toole from Hillsdale.
Yes.
And talking about that mission and what they're doing is so significant. And, I think anything that gives me hope for the future, either, hope for the kid who's having the hard time, or hope for the world and how education is so closely connected with civil society.
Yes.
And
of course,
when we are able to talk with people who are really in the thick of the front lines on restoring sanity and focusing on wisdom and virtue and character and excellence in schools, that gives me hope, because those kids are going to grow up and they're going to be out there to balance out so much of the uncivil things that we see.
Yep. Well, and there's so many things I could comment on right there. First, I have to show you, I have visual aids. You know me. I always have something to bring. So hold on.
Okay. I just have a cup. See, Kathleen likes that our podcasts are short and pithy.
Pithy. Oh, that is
just
such a good
the right
word.
length, like Goldilocks.
I love that. Oh, just right. Okay, so what I have here is a stack of books.
Oh, of people that we've had on?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So this one is actually not out yet, but this is Amber O'Neill Johnston, and she's a new find. And this is basically a collection of how to homeschool type stories, which I just love her, and I think you will love this episode. This is going to be a Homeschool 101 podcast that's coming out soon. And then, of course, Heidi St. John.
Oh, our good friend.
We love Heidi, and we've had her on a couple times. And what I love about this book, and this is not necessarily a plug for these books, this is just a reminder of authors that we've had, is this is a devotional. So 365 days of encourage and empower everyday moms. So
I must confess, I have not read that book.
You probably haven't read that, right? Look at this one. I have so many sticky notes. I love sticky notes, by the way. And someone actually, during the break, I'm going to run and grab a very sweet handwritten note I got from one of our podcast listeners.
Oh.
I know you get them all the time, Andrew. I got one that is so precious, and she has been collecting sticky notes and sending them and she sent them to me, which is amazing. So cute. This is Dr. Lisa Dunn. Yeah, and she actually was a professor at San Diego Christian College, but prior to that, she was at William Jessup University in the Sacramento area. But now she has her own school, because she's amazing. Yeah, she started her own college, but this is outsourced, and basically a wake-up call to parents about owning and not abdicating your responsibilities as educators. And I think what we talk about a lot is parents have a responsibility to educate their children, and that doesn't necessarily mean homeschooling for everyone. That means taking responsibility for educating your children. So, But anyway, we've had Dr. Lisa Dunn on before. And then, of course...
Well, we can't talk about podcasts without
Sarah McKenzie, right. Yeah. And this is an advanced reading copy, not for sale. So this was one of the I got one of the very first one.
Oh.
Yes, and I'm going to read the inscription in here. She wrote it to me. For Julie, who gave me the first yes I really needed. All my love, Sarah. And you know what that first yes was? It was, can we get Andrew Pudewa on my podcast?
And then we said yes. And then she said, "Ooh, I better figure out how to do a podcast."
She hadn't actually done a podcast yet. And so you were her very first guest.
Yes.
And now the Read Aloud Revival is huge. And we
Huge.
constantly refer people to that. And then here's another good friend of mine, Monica Swanson. She's a fellow boy mom. She's got 4 sons. And I believe her oldest is recently engaged.
Oh, well,
which is
congratulations to her.
Yeah, talk about what do you call it? Most eligible bachelors. Well, her youngest son is still in high school, so
Yes.
probably not eligible yet. But
Well, maybe she can join the Looks Way Too Young to Actually Be a Grandparent
could
club.
be, yeah. So this is just a collection of, and like I said, these are not necessarily books that. There's lots of great books that these authors
and
have
these
written.
are just a smattering.
These were just
I
some of our
also
favorite
was
guests.
reminded of Dr. Carol Swain.
Oh yes,
And her story, so amazing. Growing up in absolute poverty and then, working her way as a single mom and going up and then ending up with a PhD and teaching at
Oh, I knew you were going to ask that. I don't remember.
one of those.
Someone look up
Ivy League
Carol Swain
universities,
real
yeah.
quick, and just
But just another voice of common sense.
Yes, exactly.
In the world of education. So
yeah. So I thought it would be kind of interesting for you to know what our favorite episodes are in our customer service team. And one of the things that our customer service team does is help people understand what it is we do by giving them links to our podcast. And so I have a little list here of their favorite episodes and that they give out. They give out the benefits of mastery education.
How are people going to find all these past episodes, which they are now inspired to put in their queue?
This is true. Well, of course, we have show notes.
Okay.
So I will tell those of you that are here now what episode it is, and you are great Googlers and huge fans, and so you'll find this. But episode 264 is the benefits of mastery education. The profound power of poetry.
Oh,
I love just the title of that.
I do too. But I don't remember.
Episode 299.
Okay.
And then, Andrew, we had you talking about your book of the year, and we had to split that into 3 episodes, and we called that a bookish discussion, and that's episode 283, 284, 285.
Oh.
And we ended with, I think, the latest book of the year, which is How to Think Like Shakespeare.
Okay. That was 24.
Yeah. So we haven't done one this year.
Well, I don't have to announce the book.
No.
Until the end of the year.
That's right. Right. You've got a few more weeks to figure that out. So, different stages of learning. I thought that was kind of an interesting one. Culture, curriculum, and care.
Yeah, that was based off a conference talk
Yeah.
that I did.
And we do that.
I should resurrect that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Talking about the intangibles. So it was a nod to Mrs. Ingham, which is great.
What do you learn that's beneath the surface of what you're learning?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Case in point that immediately comes to mind is our checklist.
Yeah.
Check what you do what you check, be accountable, and be responsible. So impacting English language learners with structure and style. So we have a lot of great success stories from people who learned better English by learning structure and style writing method.
Sure.
So that's great. Yep. And then Reaching the Reluctant Writer, believe it or not, part 1 and part 2, but part 2 actually got more listens than part 1.
Really?
Yeah. And
well,
that
okay,
interesting?
that's a surprise.
Process versus
product.
product. And this constantly comes up because people don't understand who we are, what we do, and why we require this type of writing. And it's all about the process.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Writing across the curriculum, that's something that we're definitely focusing on more and more, especially with our relationship now with Hillsdale College.
Yes.
And the very best was The Mighty Pen, teaching students to change the world through language.
Oh, my.
And
I don't think I created that title.
At what point does content matter more than structure and style?
Webster's old comment.
Yes. Be inspired. I'm just reading the description. Be inspired as Andrew shares the power that language holds and learn the significance of expanding your students' capacity to think, which will enable them to use language that will allow good ideas to be presented well.
Okay.
So
that's what we do.
And then, another wizard in our company, Cameron, I said, hey, Cameron, what are the most popular podcasts?
Oh.
And
in terms of numbers,
like
number of listens?
Actual factual type.
Oh.
So there's
okay.
two ways to sort this. One is by unique views, and the other is how many hits it got. So some people went back to listen to it over and over and over again.
Or listen to the first part and then run out of time and come back.
Yeah. So as far as unique listens, optimizing instruction for boys and girls.
Oh.
So that's that Leonard Sax one. That's episode 311. And then speaking of spelling, right? And then an interview with Sam Sorbo. Do you remember we had Sam Sorbo on our podcast?
Yes.
And that was a Homeschool 101 podcast. And we started doing, Mrs. Brown says, it looks like I'll be buying more books today. Mrs. Brown, stop. Don't buy more books. Just enjoy the ride. But if you wanted one, actually the one that I have, I'll talk about that in a minute. The Mrs. Brown, the one that I love that Amber Johnston O'Neill wrote, not the anthology, but Soul Source. Write down Soul Source. That is like a list of books to read. It's another.
You're going to buy a book that gives you a list of books to read?
Yeah, you're right. The irony of that. Never mind. Don't get that one.
All right.
Okay, so moving on. Here's the interesting. Oh, and I'm going to go to the next page. So the next page is how many hits. Number one, most amount of hits. It was when we talked about 12 Days of Christmas Giving.
Oh, wow.
So that had almost 76,000 hits.
Okay.
So sometimes I sit in our little podcast studio and it's just you and me, and I start thinking,
does anybody care? Will anybody actually listen to this?
That's what you think. I think, oh my word, Andrew, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who listen to me.
Who the heck would listen?
I'm a little intimidated by that. So, okay. And then I have another list. This is just kind of general comments of popular episodes when technology in education makes sense. One of our topics that I want to get to, maybe this part or maybe the next part, is educational trends. Where have we come from? Where do you see us going? And that's really going to be you. But when technology and education makes sense, and this was episode 261. So this was years ago. And we were talking about what about all this technology in classroom and what really is hurtful and what is helpful. So alternate learning with Jennifer Mauser, another. She's not really a guest. She works for us. We love Jennifer, and she has such wisdom and such is able to help so many people with their special needs kiddos, both in the classroom and one-on-one in the homeschool environment. So Ask Andrew Anything episodes are popular. We had Pamela White on. She is the author of Fix It Grammar. And that was episode. The episode was called The Grammar of Thinking. And then we had several literature selection type podcasts, which people love books. In fact, the last couple episodes, we did a part one, and we didn't know it was going to be part one until we got some response that we needed to do a part two. So we did a part one, part two on what's in your Audible playlist. And people enjoyed that one too. So
what are you listening to right now?
What am I listening to right now? We just finished Robinson Crusoe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's one of those my husband picks and I pick, and he actually picked A Tale of Two Cities.
Oh my.
And I told him, all right, honey, this is not an easy read.
And this is while you're driving
mostly. Or, before we go to bed at night or something, we'll listen to a chapter and
Okay.
I'll usually fall asleep listening to it just because I'm exhausted.
Especially Les Miserables.
But so we just finished Robinson Crusoe. So I think it's now my turn to pick.
Oh.
Whoa, I should say Tale of Two Cities. We got 3 chapters and that's all the further we got.
Okay, yeah.
And I made him
what are you
commit to
gonna
that.
pick?
I haven't decided yet.
Oh, okay.
But you had mentioned several books when we were talking about one of our dear, dear friends who's retired recently, Jean Nichols. And you were talking about some books that she had recommended that you loved. So what are some of those?
Parnassus on Wheels.
Parnassus on Wheels.
And then same author, it's kind of a sequel, is The Haunted Bookshop, Christopher Morley.
Oh.
Where he wrote back in the early 1900s, and it's set in that period. When, very, very interesting stuff. Delightful, not heavy, nothing weighty. I am currently almost finished with Magister Ludi, or The Glass Speed Game by Hermann Hesse.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
I remember reading this as a teenager and just being completely enamored. It's a utopian novel.
Oh, of course.
So after
Utopian or dystopian?
No, utopia. It's after the Century of Wars.
Oh, okay.
Right. And there's a province of Castalia that is dedicated to the higher intellectual pursuits, kind of like an ideal classical.
Oh, interesting.
Classical education province.
Yeah.
And so it's the fictional biography of a young man who then becomes the kind of the magister of the glass bead game, which is the highest form of the integration of the intellectual disciplines.
And you were enamored by this as a teenager?
I was, yeah. Well, maybe early 20s.
Okay.
Somewhere in that zone. But it's interesting because it's like you think from the future back to the present. Mm-hmm. And I find that just very stimulating. And I don't know if it's a moral book, but it does talk about music in the most profound way that any book. So anyway, that's it. Move on. You've got a lot on your list.
I do have a lot on my list, and I'm just kind of wrapping up this part. We have a rating on our podcast, Apple's podcast, of 4.9.
Well,
out of 5.
I want to hear the one. That
I've got it. I've got it, because that's what's
interesting,
right? Okay, so I will read some of these, and I love the names.
These are the low rating ones.
No, this is the high one.
Oh, I want to hear the people who put 1 star.
I only have one.
Okay.
I only have one, because when you've got Anyway, here's one that was posted in August, so pretty recent.
Okay,
and the moniker is "Writing is my passion."
Okay.
As a current IEW student, this podcast is so inspiring. After listening to the latest episode or replaying a favorite, I immediately use the knowledge I have acquired and use it for my assignment. Thank you for inspiring me to become a more avid writer. We'll pay you later.
Well, that gives you hope for the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we hire this person?
I know, right? Come. Yeah, I'll give you our email address. All right, I'm going to give you the 1 star before we get kicked off here.
All right,
the 1 star. Ready?
I'm ready.
This made me laugh. And you know what? We welcome all stars, right? Boxed. And the moniker is non-culture. So that's the person who wrote this is non-culture. Here it is.
Oh, okay.
A pair of judgmental, unsympathetic psychos.
Wow.
I know. Painful, right?
That's almost so bad it feels good.
I know. And so here's, I'll just end with a good one. Your show has been so encouraging and helpful for our family. We're using your writing courses for our 3 kids and are very satisfied with their progress. Thank you, and please keep it up. And on that happy note, we're just going to take a quick break. Thanks so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode and want to hear more, please subscribe to our podcast in iTunes, Stitcher, or Spotify, or just visit us each week at iew.com/podcasts. Here you can also find show notes and relevant links from today's broadcast. One last thing, would you mind going to iTunes to rate and review our podcast? This really helps other smart, caring listeners like you find us. Thanks so much.